What's up, guys? Adam here with Angler Sports Center, and I'm going to bring you this week's fishing report. So we've got a big winter front coming this weekend, as you guys know. Hope everybody is getting ready for that. Not going to be much fishing getting done this weekend, I imagine, but we might have some good post-front activity the following week if things, are not getting too cold and either freezing that water or really dipping that water temperature. We had a great pre-front bite. For rockfish especially, if you guys are going out there for the migratory ones, they're still sort of in the same area that they have been, at least a large concentration of them, sort of at the mouth of the Patuxent. So if you guys want to go down and launch out of Solomon's, that would be a great place to do that. Every day is different with these fish, guys. Yesterday I was out and we were incredibly lucky. We had a lights out bite for like 3 hours in the morning, just chasing birds, casting big paddle tails, and really they were eating everything. They ate straight tails, they ate paddle tails, chartreuse, white, skirted, unskirted. They were eating everything yesterday, and that's an anomaly. So if you guys are going out there, definitely look for bait on your electronics. Look up in the sky or on the horizon and see if you see birds diving. That would be a good place to look as well. As far as depth goes in the morning, they've been kind of shallow. Like less than 15 foot of water, but as the day goes on, they're definitely starting to push a little bit deeper into more like that 40, 50, 60 foot of water range. But as far as the rockfish go, you can find them other places besides just the mouth of the Patuxent. I know that's where everybody's been fishing, and it's not a super far run from the ramp. Like I said, big paddle tails, guys, 6-7 inches E-mans. Those are what we were catching the most fish on. So I'm sure you guys will do good on that as well. As far as other stuff we got going on in the bay right now, as you guys know, it's starting to get to that really slow time of year. But you can still catch catfish. You'll find them stacked up in deep holes, like in the channel or at the mouths of some of your rivers. I haven't heard too much action of guys catching blue cats. I know a lot of people are kind of focused on rockfish right now in the bay, but a little further up some of your rivers like the Potomac, guys are definitely getting a good bite on those catfish. And you should have a good bite the following or next week as long as things don't freeze over. Just a regular rig like this, like our Pro Live Lining chunking rig here, you can put any sort of cut bait on there. I personally like LY, but any fish, anything meaty, stinky is going to work really good. If we are trying to get deep to find those catfish, guys, so get out there with some heavy sinkers so that you can cast far and that you can get down to those catfish. In some of your tidal creeks, there is a decent pickerel bite still going on. You're going to have to be a little finessier with them. You can't, just rip a regular 1/4 ounce, 3/16 ounce paddle tail and just, burn it, because those fish are cold and they're not likely going to chase after something like that. But I really like to use something slow moving this time of year, like a jerk bait. This Rapala Rip Stop is really good. It's exactly what it works exactly how the name says, the Rip Stop. So you'll give it a couple rips with the rod tip, and the way that the tail is sort of designed, it'll stop on a dime, and you can just let it sit there and suspend, and the fish should come up and hit it if they're hungry. As far as yellow perch go, guys are definitely starting to catch yellow perch in some of the creeks. It's not the full-on run yet, but guys are catching them in the creeks. Up on the Susquehanna Flats, I know guys are doing pretty good. Shad dart on a minnow is going to be key this time of year. You kind of want to bounce the bottom with that, but like I said, just take a shad dart, tip a minnow on there, and use it as kind of a search bait until you find those perch. As far as some freshwater stuff, it's going to be a really tough time of year to catch largemouth and smallmouth, but if you do want to go take your shot and go after them, look for some deep water. If you're doing smallmouth in the Susquehanna, the Monocacy, the Potomac, look for deep water. Throw a Ned rig at them. I like this little crawl profile right here, these TRD craws by Z-Man, and just let that Ned rig sit in the water and do its thing. You're not going to want to work it fast or anything like that. Same thing's going to go in your mill ponds and any of your local ponds, lakes, reservoirs, things like that. If you're going after largemouth, again, it's going to be a tough bite, but look for deep water, cast out that Ned rig, let it sit for 10, 20, 30 seconds even before you move it again. As long as things don't freeze over in some of our streams, we should still have some trout feeding. You can find trout in the northern and western part of the state. I really like these trout magnet bugs this time of year. It's a natural presentation. You know, sometimes those trout like to wise up when it gets cold, or if they're stockies, if they've been beat up with power bait or spinners all fall. Nice little natural hellgrammite profile. Like we have right here. You can put it under a bobber with like a split shot so it gets down to the bottom, but that's pretty reliable way to catch trout. And yeah, that's about as far as it goes for the fishing report this week, guys. Not much going on the coast. As we know, for our region, this is going to be a pretty slow time of year. But if things don't freeze over and water temps don't get too cold, like I said, we might have a great opportunity next week for some post-front fishing. So that about does it for this week, guys, and we'll see you next time.